Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another West Ham Fan TV video. Opposition preview. We just come back off the back of a win a very lucky win at Southampton, and we come up against the probably the best team in the league at the moment in Liverpool. I'm not looking forward to this one. My friend AGT with me, DR Sports colleague. We've had many chats. Joins me for this one. AGT, let me start off with this one, mate. What have you made of West Ham this season? Because there was a lot of expectation. We spoke about it at the beginning of the season. We spoke about West Ham at the beginning of the season. A lot of expectation. A lot of people say they had the best transfer window. It hasn't quite worked out for us. What have you made of us under the new manager?
Yeah, nice to be back, mate. Good to see you. It's a shame we're not in a pub in Beckton or a pie and mash gaff in Canning Town, but I'm in Liverpool. You're in East London, so we make do. What have I made of West Ham? Yeah, I was one of those that also said that West Ham's transfer dealings were definitely one of the best ones in terms of the money spent, the profile of the player that you managed to get in. I don't really think West Ham will ever have problems in bringing players to the club. Ones with pedigree as well. You look at Soler, he's had a decent career. Obviously, Fulkrug, just off the back of a Champions League final, you've managed to nick him. Somerville was courted by a lot of teams. You've got him over the line. Max Kilman was a big signing as well. 40 million from Wolves. So West Ham were backed, and they did get the players in. But like you said on the COP TV preview that we did earlier, it's about sewing the team together and making them all click. And what I've seen is just random results from West Ham. And, you're saying it could be a cricket score on Sunday, but you're also above Man United and Tottenham in the table. It doesn't really make sense. But then, I watch you go away and win at Newcastle, and then I've watched you get pumped at home by Arsenal 4-0 at half time. It's just consistently inconsistent. And obviously, there are some players in the team, the Bowens, the Paquetars, the Kudoses, who can still, on their day, turn up and deliver masterpieces. But for whatever reason, it mainly is the manager because of his lack of willingness to almost get stuck in with the language, maybe. I would probably put most of the blame on him, but you have to look at the players as well. Their heads look down. They look like they've given up a little bit. And they know they're not going down, right? Because as we said, there's three worse teams of West Ham, maybe even 4 or 5. But on paper, mate, you should be nowhere near where you are. I look at someone like a Forest at the minute, and I think, wow, look at their recruitment. It was scattergun approach, right? But over time, we're seeing that actually, they're not only in the top half of the table, they're pushing for a Champions League spot. And on another day in another world, that could have well have been West Ham. So yeah, inconsistent. I've got a soft spot for West Ham, so I don't like seeing them down there. And we've played you in the league already. In the League Cup already. So yeah, it's struggling for goals, mate, aren't you?
Well, yeah, very much so. I mean, we're struggling in every department.
Just struggling.
The midfield get overrun every game, and you've got. I mean, I've classed Szoboszlai and McAllister as two of the best in the league at what they do, running their midfields. I think they're fantastic players. We're just in such disarray at the moment. There is no game plan. There is no work being done in terms of bringing the team together. It's just very basic tactics. I mean, but when you look around the league this year, I mean, I was surprised to look at the table last night and see who we were above and who we was. I mean, Tottenham. Manchester United. I mean, Man United have been in a bit of disarray for a few years now, but there isn't like a massive gap between sort of the top 6. I think we're only 5 points off a City, which is
That's wild.
It's crazy.
That is wild, and that shows you the closeness of it all this season. I mean, pretty much anyone from 2nd down to 7th could end up in the 4th spot. And it seems like at the minute, without sounding too big-headed, it seems like at the minute the only team that are actually asked about going on and winning the league, but also showing a bit of consistency is Liverpool. So thank God for that. But yeah, everyone else seems to have a bit of an off season in terms of the challengers. So yeah, all we can do is keep winning these games, keep racking up the 3 points, and hope for another league title, one that we can actually celebrate with a parade this time. But listen, all of that's hopefully to come, but you can't look past this game traditionally, whether it's the old Boleyn Ground, whether it's the London Stadium. West Ham is a tough place to go to, and you can't be complacent even with the good form.
I mean, I watched the Tottenham game the other day. You were silky. Everything looks, Arne Slot's come in. I mean, he's just picked up where Klopp left off, isn't he? He's just
He has, but at the same
furthered
time,
the
what
work.
he has obviously, technically picked up the exact same squad that Klopp left behind. So a lot of Slot's successes this season literally do stem back to Klopp leaving him in the best way possible with that team and the squad that he's assembled. Um, and it has been seamless. I mean, maybe apart from the last 4 games in the Prem, we've conceded a lot less goals than Klopp. We seem to have a bit more control over games. I say the last 4 because obviously we went behind to Leicester, went behind a couple of times to Newcastle and came back. And listen, that's great for character building, but I think I'd like to see a return of the clean sheet in this game. And we've got no problem scoring goals. We're actually better away from home than we are at home. So yeah, it's been pretty unimaginable the level that he's got us playing at. I mean, everyone around the table on DR, I saw a clip go out today. Everyone was saying there's going to be a massive drop off from when Klopp leaves to when Slot joins, and there just hasn't been. I think people are waiting for the drop off or the bubble to burst, but then we're halfway through the season, so people are waiting around for this fall off, but at the minute it's not happening.
I remember us talking at the beginning of the season about Liverpool. Didn't sign many players in the transfer. I mean, it was a weekly thing with you, and it was a bit of a weekly joke that you didn't
Yeah.
sign anyone. Do you think that, in a way, when the new manager comes in, is a bit of a blessing in disguise? Because you look at the managers that have come in, apart from Chelsea, no one's really had a lot of success bringing in new managers and changing too much of the squad. And West Ham were one of them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it was a bit of a running joke in the summer. When are Liverpool going to buy a player? We got Chiesa, but on the cheap, no, pretty low risk signing, potentially high rewards. We're still waiting for him to pop up, but I think he actually made his debut against West Ham in the League Cup and got an assist. So maybe he gets a little bit of action on Sunday. But yeah, like I said, man, Klopp knew what he was doing when he had that microphone in his hand when he was leaving and he got the whole stadium to sing Arne Slot. I mean, in what sport or what team have you ever seen a departing manager gather around with the current fans and sing the future manager's name? It's never happened. So he has just carried it on. And like you say, because he didn't technically go mad in the transfer window, he's gone, right, imagine how good I can get you all. I'm looking at Gravenberch. You're an 8 really, but I'm going to make you part of 2 6s with McAllister because we're not going to. I've been told we haven't got the funds really to go out and buy a number 6, so I'm just going to mold you into what I'd like to see. And everyone got a clean slate. You look at players like Curtis and Ryan Gravenberch, who have been missing games for injury or out of form in the last 2 or 3 years under Klopp. But he's made them both different players, Slot has. So you have to give him the respect and the credit for not only guiding Liverpool into this new era, but doing it so seamlessly. And yes, he's got different ways of working. Yes, he's not as gung-ho as Klopp. But if it wins us trophies, I don't think anyone cares. So at the end of the day, mate, long live Arne Slot and his tricky Reds at the minute, because it looks like, touch wood, it looks like everyone's trying to stop us, but at the minute, no one can.
Yeah, I mean, Man City have been a dominant force. As I said, when Arsenal came up and you had a little bit of a fall off for the last couple of years, I always said that when they were getting above themselves, saying like we're going to be the next league. I said, look, Liverpool are going to come back. They're prepped to do it. You're still preparing. I think you've pretty much got the title wrapped up now. I can't see Man City catching up with that many points. I can't see you slipping too much. I can't see Chelsea and Arsenal keeping up with you in terms of like keeping results. I think they're too one-dimensional and too reliant on. And you're very diverse in the way you score goals. Arsenal are very reliant on set pieces. Chelsea rely on one man or two men. If they're out, I don't think they'd score as many goals. And yeah, you're pretty much like I think you're the best team in the league. I think you'll be the best team in the league this year. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting it at all. If Arne Slot's hit the ground running, and he's come in, got off to a good start, and he hasn't stopped since. But I think you could dominate for the next couple of years. Why City rebuild? I think City are in a bit of trouble with that, with them points for the 115 charges. I think they're going to, be restricted a lot by, what comes as a punishment to them. And I can't see anyone that's as prepared. Listen, I know Arsenal building. I know Chelsea have spent a lot of money, but I think Chelsea are a couple of years off of becoming that consistent side. They've got a lot of young players. They're exciting, but I think at this moment in time, I think Liverpool are the ones that could run away with it.
What I don't want to happen is we win the league and City get a big points deduction, maybe January, February, March, and everyone says that was the reason why Liverpool did finally beat them again. We're top of the league right now, and hopefully we do go on to win the league. But at the same time, it's because we've been really good. It's not our fault that City have fallen off big time. I mean, Klopp must be sitting there thinking, Jesus Christ, we could have done with this 2 or 3 years ago. I'd have probably a couple more Premier League winners' medals in my collection. But Liverpool have been great, and that's not through the lack of form of anyone else. We've been great because we've stepped up and taken it upon ourselves to actually get to this stage now, and think it would be a massive disappointment if Liverpool didn't win the league from here. So, listen, I'm always cautious talking about wrapping up and it's all done already, because obviously we're only about to go into January. But if we speak in February and it's still a 7, 8 point, 9 point, 10 point gap in February, then boy, Arne Slot is going to become immortalized in his first season, which obviously no one thought of. So game by game, slowly. But yeah, I agree, mate. I think it's ours to win now this year.
Okay, right. So let's talk about the game tomorrow. I mean, I've already let my feelings know on your channel. I went to the games all over. I think we've been poor. You've been great. What worries you? Are these the periods where you start to think maybe, the eye can come off the ball? It's too quick. You don't get time to prepare, to look at everyone else. Are these the games that we see some shocks? We see Fulham beat Chelsea. We see
Well, we lost to Forest at home,
Man
mate.
United lost to Wolves.
We lost to Forest yeah. Well, maybe that's not a surprise anymore.
Maybe
but
that's not a shock, yeah.
Maybe that's just standard these days. But yeah, listen, we lost to Forest. So what would worry me is complacency, but I don't think this team, and again, I could obviously be proven wrong, but at the minute, I don't see any complacency. Yes, we might go a goal behind, but the way we pick ourselves and we're just relentless at it, and we will not stop till we get that winner. And obviously on the West Ham side of things, Kudus, if he turns up, he can run the length of the pitch and score a goal. Jared Bowen always seems to score against Liverpool. I know obviously Klopp, really liked the look of him. And set pieces, you still got some big lads. But if we do our job, none of that should really impact Liverpool. If you just go there and again try and score early, quiet down the crowd, which according to you will be quite quiet anyway over Christmas. But I want goals and I want clean sheets. I want us to break records this season. And any person who gets in our way, as much as I like that person, the fan of that club, I'm sorry, man. It's just business. We're just rolling through. We're passing through. We've got to handle some business and then we go back up north. Is that all right? Sweet.
Right, let's get a score prediction off you then, mate, before I let you go.
Oh,
Honestly, don't worry about the comments or anything. It's got to be honest.
I can already see the first comment. Oh, nice for him to support his local club. I am in Liverpool right now, by the way. I do live here. Oh, mate, I want the clean sheet, don't I? So, can we score 3 goals away at West Ham? Yeah. But we've been conceding at home to Leicester. We conceded 3 away to Newcastle. Conceded, obviously, 3 at Spurs. So, I'd like an away clean sheet. I'm going to go 3-0, Nick.
I said it on your channel. I'll say it on here. I'm not going to hide behind it. The way we've been playing, mate, I think the midfield gets hold of us early. This could be 6-0. This could be 6, the way they've been playing.
If it is, though, let me ask you this. If it is, let's just say hypothetically 6-0. Is that sackable?
I'll be honest. I think the way we played against Wolves, Leicester, and Southampton, I think that's sackable because there wasn't good performances. They were scrappy, 2 scrappy wins and a bad defeat in a game where we should have dominated it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this has to be a high score for him to even consider sacking him because I think they'll see this as a free pass.
Right.
But when I look at the table, AGT, I still think this is salvageable. If we got someone in now
Mm.
at a decent time and we don't wait
Who?
too long, I think the season's still salvageable. I think we can still
Who?
get
Who
something
would
out
you
of this
get in?
season.
You
Now
fancy
that's the
Gerrard?
question. I
Stevie
mean,
G?
no, I don't think
Fancy
Stevie
Gerrard?
G will be able to do a job yet. I think it has to be someone with more emphasis on playing football rather than stopping other people from playing football. I think someone like Rodgers, like a more technical manager, could get more of a tune out of some of the players we've got. But I'll be honest, AGT, I don't know who would come to us now. I don't know who would want to work under
Yeah.
Sullivan. I don't know who would want to come in under these circumstances because it's one of these jobs that could be a poison chalice. It's not easy to sort of play football the way we want to see football
What
played
about
and win.
what about O'Neill?
Mine O'Neill.
Oh, Gary.
Gary O'Neill. Do you know what? I liked the way he played football at the beginning, and I've always said I would have him. But I don't think the fans will be that excited just because of his record at
Maybe
Wolves.
not.
Now, I don't think he's been given a fair chance at
He
Wolves.
hasn't.
He's had a lot of
VAR decisions,
yeah,
injuries.
he's had a lot of the rug pulled under him.
Yeah,
I think he would fit here,
I do.
but I think it'd take him a bit of time.
He started off at Liverpool as well, didn't he? Gary O'Neill.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he's a
He played
former
for
West
us.
Ham player as well,
Yeah, yeah. I,
so he could
I,
do it.
I'd take him. I would have a gamble on Carrick.
Big
But
job.
again, it's one of them things where I think with the players we've got, I think you have to hit the ground running straight away. I think
Yeah, first 5
Lopetegui,
games.
as I said, we give him time at the beginning, but there's no progression. There's no consistency. He doesn't show any sign of like he knows what he wants to do with the side. And I don't think a lot of our better players, they don't look like they want to play in a team like that because there's no, I don't know, there's no end goal, if you know what I mean. Like he
Yeah.
hasn't made it clear who's in his plans, what he plans to do. This is what I'm looking at. He changes the team every week without foul. And there's never been sort of a consistency. And you can just see some players are, they're a bit, I don't know, they're a bit disillusioned by it all. And it's, they're finding it hard. More of our difficult players are not playing with a smile on their face. And yeah, it's just, I think the whole club needs a bit of a revamp. I think it was too much change too quickly.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if it does happen, he does go, and you do get the right man in, I agree. The season is definitely more than salvageable.
Yeah, I think we could,
More.
if we got a run of games together, I think we could find ourselves in the European spots. No one's
Yeah.
run away with it. As I said,
No.
Man City are 5 points above us, and we've been poor. We've been poor.
Hey, you're
Like,
2 wins away from overtaking Man City.
yeah, I think the league is just. I think it's poor this season. I really do. I think there's a lot of transition in the league this year, and there's a lot of teams that have sort of found themselves in positions where they've won games that they shouldn't have won, and they've lost games that they shouldn't have won. I don't think there's any consistency in the league. There's no, by this time, by Christmas, you sort of look at the table, and there's normally like, who the title contenders are. You know who's going to be contending for Europe. You know who's going to be mid-table. You know who's going to be fighting for relegation. I couldn't
Yeah.
call it. I couldn't
Yeah.
call any of it. Apart from,
No, you're right,
I
mate.
think Liverpool. I don't know if Man City are going to go on a win that run of games. Aston Villa could go on a run of games. Newcastle could come out and you just don't
Forest.
know. Forest, yeah.
Forest, yeah.
There's too many surprising results this year.
I think ultimately you just have to look at who wants it the most, and obviously there's still a long way to go in the season. But if you're asking, the top teams who wants to go out go on and win it, then for me, it's just Liverpool at the minute in terms of a team that's so consistent. So, mate, if Liverpool win the league, mate, in his first season, that would just be a joke, wouldn't it?
How many
Absolutely
games you
incredible.
lost this season?
1.
One game,
Forest.
that was the Forest game at the beginning of the
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see,
It-
man. We'll see,
it's-
but let's
yeah,
go
they're
and
the
see.
only
We've got to win this game first.
consistent sort of banker in the league at the minute, you know. But there we go. Thank you very much for joining me, AGT. Go and check our preview out on the COP TV. Listen, I know I'm a bit down in the dumps at the minute, and we're 4 games unbeaten, and I shouldn't be. But listen, I just when I come up against these teams that play this sort of football, I can't see us being able to sustain it. And I have to be honest. I've always been honest. I say what I see, and I'll continue to do it. But go and check out our preview on the COP TV. Hopefully, we come out with a surprise tomorrow, a little Christmas miracle. But I'll be honest, I can't see it. But thanks very much for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow with a fan cams and that after the game. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you all for the new year. Thank you very much.
Cheers, fella.
Lovely
Thanks
to
for
have
having
you
me.
today.
Smash that like button, people. Go and subscribe. Up the irons. Bye.
Come on, you irons.